Hey everyone, you were Tesla Tom. Thanks so much for joining us on Ludicrous Feed. But welcome to another beautiful autumn Sydney morning here, albeit a little bit windy. But nevertheless, we're going to do an autopilot test across the Sydney Harbour Bridge and aiming for that lovely building there across the water, the Sydney Opera House. We're on autopilot version 2020.12.5. This is probably the last version before we get the full self-driving visualization preview, which I'm very much looking forward to in our Tesla Model 3 performance here in Sydney, Australia. So without further ado, let's go do this test right now on autopilot. And someone's just banged into me. Navigate to the Sydney Opera House. Okay, let's do that right now. Quite a few people around today utilising the parks and things. The restrictions in Sydney or in Australia has been downgraded a little bit here because our numbers are looking good. So I guess people are taking full advantage of the beautiful sunshine here in Sydney today. So right now we are in the suburb of Kirribilli. Normally on a Saturday morning it would be full of people. Still a lot of people today, but not as many as you'd expect. So what we're going to do now, as you can see on this route, we are going to basically get onto the Sydney Harbour Bridge and then cross the Harbour Bridge on autopilot. And then once we get into the city, we will return back to Kirribilli and we'll see whether autopilot takes the correct exit. And I'll show you too, guys, that we are on, with regards to the lane change mode. Let's just see, customize there. So as you can see, I'm on average lane change, not Mad Max. Got a bit tired of Mad Max. And I'm on lane change confirmation right there. Okay. So obviously on surface roads, you can't use navigate on autopilot just yet. Once you get onto a major road, you can. So we're about to just swing onto the Harbour Bridge now once we round this corner.
Now take the Cargill Expressway route on the left.
Okay, so getting onto the freeway here. That's the toll. Alright, autopilot has been engaged and we're straight away onto the blue line there, which means it's on navigate on autopilot. It's on 50 kilometers an hour. It's asking me to lane change, and that's fine. I will do what it wants me to do. Now the toll booths here have always been a bit of a hassle. It's a bit weird. See, I'm not doing anything, the car's just slowing down for me. These toll booths don't work anymore. Okay, so I'm holding onto the wheel. So far so good. And this bit's very tricky, as you can see. We're just merging with other traffic here. Okay, and we did that fairly well. Okay, I'm going to match the speed limit to 70. But of course with adaptive cruise control it'll follow the car ahead of me. Okay, so we're on to the Warringah Expressway / Bradfield Highway, and about to reach the first pylon of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Doing well so far. I'll navigate on autopilot. Very nice. So this bit has never been an issue really for previous editions of autopilot for our Model 3. What I'm really looking forward to is coming back across the bridge with multiple lanes and time of day lane markings, and and then taking the correct exit off the freeway. That's also interesting. That's never been very good at that either in previous editions, so we'll see what it looks like today. Yeah, so that did that pretty well. We're just off the harbour bridge now. There's no lane markings on that left lane of the harbour bridge, so I'm always impressed when it goes on autopilot for that bit. Okay, so we're about to round onto the Cahill Expressway, as you can see on the map there. Man, it's a beautiful day here in Sydney. A bit windy, but beautiful blue sky. I'm on number 2 setting for following the car. I like number 2. Okay, so a lot of cones there, as you can see. That's cool. Rounding this corner very well. I like it. And we're on the Cahill Expressway now. Circular quays to your left. No cruise ships. I hope not, anyway. You just see the Sydney Opera House. Look at all the cones. How cool is that? It's a shout out to Nash from Tesla and the Gong. He likes his cones. That's for you, buddy. Okay, so we're about to exit Macquarie Street. So it should switch off any minute. There we go. Switching off very soon. 75, 50 meters. And I'm going to take the wheel pretty soon. Okay, so that's back to basic autopilot now. Now that we're on the surface roads. Okay, I might just take control of the wheel. Okay, there we go. Ooh, what is that car doing? See some interesting drivers. I'm going to back up a little bit. What is that guy doing? Wow. Never seen that before. Anyway, we made it to across the city. So what we're going to do now is navigate back to Kirribilli, because the whole aim was to get to the other side of the harbour bridge, and that's fine. So we're going to navigate to Kirribilli House, which is the Prime Minister's residence in Sydney. Okay, so to do that we need to get back across the harbour bridge. Alright, so it's telling me to go cross town. You can technically use autopilot in the city, but obviously I'm not going to do that. We'll start engaging autopilot when we reach the harbour bridge. So we're on Bridge Street, and it's pretty much a straight shot across town to back on the harbour bridge on the other side there. A little bit quieter than usual here in Sydney in the CBD on a Saturday morning, given the restrictions. Okay, that's Pitt Street we just crossed. And just about to cross George Street. I need to be in the middle lane here, because that right lane actually goes right. So I'm just going to sneak in this lane. Sydney CBD is confusing like that. You can see the light rail there ahead of you. That's still running, which is nice. That's the George Street light rail. Okay, light is green, so away we go. Okie dokie, so we're about to hit the harbour bridge again. And once we cross York Street, there we go, just following this Bentley here. Alright. So we're back on Harbour Bridge. Once we get actually on the Harbour Bridge, I will go back on autopilot. This bit's always a bit tricky, so I won't engage it just yet. Okay, I think we'll engage it now. Okay, there we go. Whoop, bit jerky there. All right, let's go 70. Okay, more cones there. All right, I need to merge, so I'm going to do that for the car. Otherwise, I'm going to hit the barrier. All right, autopilot has not been engaged yet. As a navigator, autopilot is not engaged. What I want to do is switch over to this lane. The car thinks the bus is in that lane, but it's actually 2 lanes across. And I'm going to sneak over one more. It's funny, last time Navigator and Autopilot was engaged for this bit. So obviously they've taken it off again. Maybe they saw my video on how difficult it was to get back across this side of the bridge. That's cool, that's cool. Hopefully with the next update we can have Navigator and Autopilot back for this bit. But we'll cross the bridge and we'll make our judgment once we get off the bridge itself. It might switch back to Navigate. We'll see. So here we are crossing the northern pylon, so we're officially off the bridge now. Let's see whether it goes back to Navigate. Well, still two lines. Tells me it's still on basic. Okay, well, interesting. What if we change to Chatswood? Navigate to Chatswood. Let's go a bit further on and see whether it gets us to Navigate.
Now turn left towards Bradfield Highway.
Yeah, let's do that.
In 200 meters, keep right to stay on Bradfield Highway
Oh,
toward M1.
wow,
Now
that.
keep right to stay on Bradfield Highway.
Nope. It switched off. Okay, that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, we navigate to Chatswood now. That actually forced the car for me. That was interesting. Switch to 80. Yeah, so Chatswood's a bit further north. I'm not sure what happened there, guys. I'm sorry. But now it's back on Navigate and Autopilot. I'll have to review the footage and tell you guys what happened. Alright, I'm going to let the car do its thing. Alright, once the lane changed, that's fine. And we'll switch for the car.
Keep right to stay on M1.
Wants to go one more time across, okay. That's cool. And one more across. Whatever you say, car. Whatever you say.
Now keep right to stay on M1.
Okay, now it's happy. Whoa.
300 meters, keep right to stay on M1 for Chatswood.
It's funny, the car indicated for itself, even though I've got it on confirm. Weird. Weird indeed. Yeah, definitely have to review that footage. What happened back there at the exit when I switched over to Kirribilli. Okay, so this bit's a bit tricky. I've got to merge with the other part of the freeway. Hands on the wheel, as always. Okay, I managed it pretty well. Alright, so now I'm in the leftmost lane of this 3-lane bit that goes to Chatswood. Alright, now let's indicate to let it change. It's going to skip ahead of the car behind me. It worked pretty well. Okay, so now I'm in the middle lane, and the car's happy. So let's see whether it takes the correct exit at Chatswood. If not, it's gonna take me past Chatswood onto the Lane Cove Tunnel, which I won't be happy with, because then it will keep going and I've got to pay the toll for the Lane Cove Tunnel. Hopefully it takes the right exit at Chatswood, because that's the last exit before that toll. So far so good. This road is 80 kilometers an hour. It's going at 69, 68, just following the car ahead of me on traffic aware cruise control. Always hands on the wheel, guys, with Autopilot. Eyes on the road. It's definitely not full self-driving yet. It's still very much beta, as it always warns you when you activate it. Okay, so we're kind of in Narrabeen, Artarmon, that lower North Shore area of Sydney. Okay, lady, that's what you're saying. Hopefully the car does what you want it to do. Okay, so it's just switching off. Alright, that's fine. I'm happy with that too. Cool. Alright, well, I will indicate left myself because I want to exit here. Oakley dokley. Well, that is my Navigate and Autopilot test in our Performance Model 3 on version 2020.12.5, the preeminent version before the full self-driving visualization, I assume, for our next update. Alright guys, don't forget, you'll never charge alone. See you next time. Take care.